No way. Holy moly. You've got some ducks and a dolphin. This is definitely kind of unconventional. What is up, guys? It is the Turtle Girl. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be reacting to some more of your turtle tanks and leopard gecko tanks and other animal tanks that you guys submitted. This is partially so that those of you watching can get some inspiration for different turtle tank ideas. There's so many different ways that people set up their enclosures. Plus, those of you who have submitted tanks get some feedback. We sit down and do a react video like this just about every single month, so subscribe for more turtle tank inspiration to come, and we're just gonna see what kind of tanks we get to look at today. Alright, so we are starting off strong here with a tank from Kobe in California, and this is home to a musk turtle. It's a 40-gallon breeder, and they have a canister filter running, which is awesome. You can tell from the water clarity that this tank is just beautiful. So the piece of driftwood, they said they actually got it from the reptile store for 20 bucks. Guys, I want you to look at this tank and take a look at that driftwood. The structure and the basking area that it provides, just, oh my gosh. It looks so natural and it looks so cool. I like how you kind of have this clustered area with all of the plants and the driftwood and then just open space to swim. And all of these plants, mind you, are fake. And I think it just looks so beautiful. You picked a really nice variety that kind of mesh well together. And that turtle just looks super happy. I mean, just look at that turtle's face. You also have zebra danios and fancy guppies in there, which is super cool. I think I might have to try that very soon with my musk turtle tank here. Hopefully before we leave Denver, Elon/Murdoch will be able to have a little bit more of a spruced up tank than what he currently has. But this is really just a great example of what a good musk turtle tank can look like. I also really like the fact that the decorations kind of just reach up out of the water. I think that's one thing that can really make your tank look more natural, is kind of extending the space from just the water to the air portion, I guess you could say, of the aquarium or turtle tank. Oh my gosh, you have an above tank basking area that is like my DIY above tank basking area. That's super cool. Okay, so this is really neat. First off, I just want to mention the basking area because this is the original DIY plastic bin basking area. That was one of like the first videos that I made on my channel, was how to make a basking area above tank out of a plastic bin. So it's really cool to see you using that idea. You've got some clamp lamps shining on there and also a little fake plant coming out of there to kind of provide some coverage and make it look a little more natural. Also have egg crate to prevent escaping. This is a 29-gallon tank. You said you're planning on upgrading. Your painted turtle though is absolutely gorgeous. Really no complaints about this. This turtle has a lot of space to swim and is definitely going to love that upgrade when it rolls around. Here we have two really cool tanks from Steven in Minnesota. This first one that we're looking at is an axolotl tank, 20 gallons. I really like how you have some floating plants, kind of, well, not really technically floating plants, but like plants kind of at the surface of the water here. Be careful with how sharp those are, given that it's an axolotl and they can get damaged pretty easily. But I like how it kind of provides this coverage and also protection from the light, because remember that axolotl's eyes can be a little bit sensitive to that, and it looks like this light is pretty bright, but kind of having those plants to diffuse a little bit of that really, I think, works out nicely and helps cut down on the amount of light that's actually making it to the axolotl's eyes. Unfortunately, we don't have any pictures of the axolotl here, but I'm sure that they're doing healthy and doing well. This looks like a very clean, well-maintained setup. And then looking at this other tank, we have a community tank. Again, fake plants, but it looks really, really nice. These decorations in the middle are kind of unique. The fish can swim in and out of them. It doesn't look like this tank is too heavily stocked. It looks like maybe it's a 20-gallon high, possibly a 29-gallon. And just the way that you've kind of composed the setup and scaped the setup just looks really nice to me. The contrast of kind of this hard edge rock kind of square shape, along with all these different kinds of plants that are beautiful and green and vibrant looking. I just really enjoy the kind of simplicity of this tank, and the angelfish and all of those fish look really happy and healthy. I mean, I don't really have anything to say. So thanks for sharing, Steven. Oh my gosh, I love doing this so much, guys. It is so much fun to see all the different ways you guys put together your turtle tanks. Okay, this is a really fun one. This is Merriweather, the three-striped mud turtles tank. Wow, that's a mouthful. But this comes from Sheridan in Arkansas, and little turtles, guys, you know, little turtles are really just have a soft spot in my heart. I mean, just look how cute this little guy is. So this looks to be about a 20 gallon, maybe a 29 gallon tank. And what's really cool about this is you have a lot of greenery. Now these all look like fake plants, but I think it really adds some really great space for Merriweather to take cover, be in the leaves, hide if they need to. And this log piece in the middle too, I really like the look of that decoration. It's big enough so that your turtle isn't gonna get stuck in any entrance holes, but it has kind of like this cave-like situation where the turtle can go in and hide. Honestly, I think that if my tank looked more like that, it would actually be a lot better, because then Elon/Murdoch would have a lot more things to hide in. So I might take a page from your book, Sheridan, and put some more fake plants in my tank like this. Here's a cool leopard gecko tank from Trent in New York. I don't have a ton of information about this tank other than that it's for a juvenile leopard gecko, but just looking at it, it seems to be a front opening terrarium and pretty sizable. I would say it looks like one of those 36 by 16 size tanks, so like the floor space of a 40-gallon breeder. It's also interesting because it looks like you're providing some additional lighting for leopard geckos. Most people opt to use heat pads, but here it looks like you have some kind of lighting. It's possible the one on the left is heat, and then you also have maybe some UVB. That's just speculation based on the colors of the bulbs. It's interesting though, because this is a topic we discussed in a recent video I did where I put a heat lamp on my leopard gecko tank. In fact, if you actually look up here, I don't know if you can see right up top there, my leopard gecko tank actually does have a heat bulb on it. So it's kind of an interesting thing to give your leopard gecko heat from above. I don't think it's a bad thing. I've noticed that for my gecko, it's actually worked out. So that's kind of something interesting that I wanted to point out about this. Alright, so here's a really interesting setup from Hugo in Portugal, and this is home to Tutti, the map turtle. I will say, it kind of feels on the small side, but that could just be the angle of the photo and kind of my perception, because I'm having a hard time imagining like a plastic bin that big. But what's interesting about this is that it is kind of a tub setup. The water seems to be kind of shallow, and you just have like this rock area in the middle, along with some decorations. My personal opinion would be that map turtles would need deeper water than this. This might work out better for something that prefers shallower water, like a mud turtle or a spotted turtle or something of that sort. But it's just very, very interesting because clearly this tank has a lot more like surface area than it does depth. So like the turtle can move around quite a bit, like all around, just not up as much. Like I really honestly don't know what to make of this. I mean, the turtle is super cute, no doubt about that. I mean, look at map turtles. But yeah, I don't know. I find this tank really, really interesting and intriguing, and would love to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of this. And Hugo, thank you for sharing, because this is definitely kind of unconventional. No way, this is unreal. 55-gallon paludarium, Boston ferns, cork bark, spider wood, and then the vines are shoestrings coated in cocoa fiber. There's Indian almond leaves there at the bottom. So this is a guppy tank from a subscriber, and I am just in awe. This is like Serpa design level kind of stuff. Like, that is just so cool. I can imagine the guppies are just breeding tons in here. Again, this is kind of like what we talked about with that very first tank, is having stuff above the water line really just adds to the depth and the immersiveness of your aquarium scape. And this is just like an excellent, kind of like, for me, I would never be able to do something like this, but just like such a great example of how you can really make it look like an entire environment and not just a fish tank. This is so cool. You said it took you like a whole day to just put in the cork bark background, so kudos to you for making your tank just look this beautiful for a bunch of guppies, no less, which I think a lot of people overlook guppies because they're such a common fish, they're easy to breed or whatever, but put them in an environment like this. I mean, guppies are beautiful fish, and oh my gosh, just so much fun. I am in love with this. I think this is so cool. This is, oh, I love it. I don't know what else to say. I just really enjoy this. So thank you so much for sharing. This next tank is from Dominic in India, and we have two Reddit sliders here named Ben and Frank. Here we have this fabulous picture of Ben and Frank being bros hanging out on this basking area. What I find really interesting about this tank, the first thing that struck me was your exposed basking lights. Now I don't know if this is just like the norm in India or how lighting is provided, but I do find that it's really interesting to see kind of how the fixture situation is. I know here in the US we often have domes that kind of reflect back some of that lighting, but I mean, as long as it's not a safety hazard, like the biggest thing would be just making sure those clamps are secure and that no water is splashing up onto the bulb, because you wouldn't want any bulbs bursting or anything like that. I also like that there's multiple areas for the turtles to get out of the water to bask. So like, say your turtle wanted to bask but not underneath the heat bulb, they actually do have the option for that, which is really cool. Here we've got a really cool fish tank from Aiden in North Carolina. This is home to Twilight the betta fish, and let me just say, first off, this betta fish is in a 10-gallon tank, which is an absolute win. Most people keep bettas in tanks that are far too small. I mean, not to call you out if you're keeping your betta in like a tank less than 2 gallons, because I've certainly done that before, like when I was first starting out keeping fish, that sort of thing. But it's definitely ideal to have just a lot more space for your betta fish. They like the room to swim, and it's way better for the water quality to have a tank that is 10 gallons or more. So great job with that. That makes me super happy to see this betta having so much space to swim. And then also the decorations. You've done a really, really fun job with kind of just different varieties of plant types, even though most of these look to be fake plants. You've got the gravel kind of on one side and then a little bit of sand on the other side. So it almost creates this illusion of like, I don't know, a pond of water or something in the corner there. That's just really, really fun. And I love to see great setups like this for bettas. So I'm happy to showcase it here on this channel. Just a beautiful fish and a really great tank setup. So thanks for sharing. Oh no, I have the hiccups. Dang it. Hold on just a second. Okay, so for anyone who ever struggles with hiccups, here's my tip. You gotta take like water and drink upside down. I might not include this on camera because it might look really weird, but we're gonna try to get rid of this hiccup so we can keep reacting to these tanks. And you kind of just gotta swallow until you feel, because it's basically that little flap in your throat that flips, so you basically have to wait till you feel that flap gets flipped back. I know this is totally irrelevant, but I mean, maybe it makes the video interesting. I don't know. Okay, so this is a European pond turtle tank from Scott in Nebraska. And for one, I think this is really cool because this is a turtle species you don't see as often or as commonly in the pet trade. I myself don't know a ton about European pond turtles, but this does look like a pretty cool turtle with some neat like lighter markings on the skin and then a kind of darker olive shell, but it has some lighter spots on it. Tank-wise, it looks great. You've got river rock and this really neat root decoration. I've seen that in a handful of other people's tanks before. Still really enjoy the look of it, and plus it's resin and whatnot, so that'll definitely withstand any kind of turtle trying to eat it. You even have some plants coming up out of the tree root, which I think looks really natural, looks really great. The other interesting thing is this basking area here. Now, I believe this is an add-on you can actually purchase at the pet store. It's just something that you can install, and it's really cool because it's completely enclosed, so your turtle's not going to escape, but there is also a good amount of airflow, so it's not like you're trapping a bunch of air in there either. Okay, so this 40-gallon painted turtle tank comes from Dylan in Utah, and we kind of just get this little portion of the tank. I just thought it was really funny because I have had this exact decoration before and I really liked it, and now I'm sad because I don't know what happened to it. With Nemo's first tank, when he was in the 29-gallon, when I first adopted him, I had that decoration, so I thought that was pretty cool. Painted turtles are great. That is what you have here. It looks like you also have some glow light tetras. I would say you could probably fill this tank up a little more. If it's a 40-gallon tank, you're probably sitting at 20 gallons of water. So by raising that water level, you're giving the turtle more space to swim, and then all you would just need to do for the top is just move the light fixture. You might have to just hang it a little bit higher above the tank so that once that basking area comes up, it's not going to be like the basking lights are too close. So just that, be aware of that once you add more water to the tank. But I think that would be a nice thing to do for your turtle to kind of maximize that swimming volume, because painted turtles for sure love to swim. So don't be shy about making that water a little bit deeper and giving them that space to swim. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Is this an axolotl tank? Okay, so this is an axolotl tank from Aiden, and it's just super cute. I love the use of the little figurines. You've got some ducks and a dolphin and an Anubias plant and just some cute little hides. So you haven't gotten your axolotl yet. You said you're planning on getting a juvenile, which is really cool. You have a moss bridge in there also, which is really unique. I will say the sponge filter, maybe it's just my perception, it looks a little bit small. You're gonna want to keep in mind that axolotls, when they poop, like it's like a big poop. So either like make sure you're spot cleaning, or make sure you just have a good amount of circulation and that you do like clean out that sponge filter relatively often. However, other than that, it looks like your axolotl, your turtle, it looks like your axolotl will have a fair amount of places to hide, so that is great. And I wish you luck on your new axolotl that is coming soon. By the time this video comes out, and by the time I've actually reacted to your tank, you probably already have your axolotl. If you're watching this video, Aiden, let us know how the axolotl is doing, what you named it, anything. Feel free to give us an update. But this is just a really cute tank. Again, the figurines are super duper fun. So that is all the tanks we have for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me to take a look at all these tanks, and thank you for all of you who have submitted your tanks. Again, if you would like to submit your tank, there is still time to do that. I'm probably not going to get through all of them, but feel free to go to bit.ly/theturtlegirlreacts, and you might have a chance of me checking out your tank. Let me know if you had a favorite tank that was shared in today's video. And if you watched all the way to the end, feel free to comment the, I think there's a pineapple emoji, right? Comment a pineapple or fruit emoji to let me know that you watched all the way to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around till the end to hear what random things I have to say. Yeah, that's basically it for today. So hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next week. Have a totally awesome day. Bye!